All right, this problem is 4 sine theta is equal to the square root of 3 times sine theta tangent theta plus 3 sine theta. So for this one, notice that we've got a sine and a tangent in here. So in order to solve this, we're going to need to factor. And so anytime we're factoring, the first step is going to be to get everything over to one side and get the other side equal to 0. So let's subtract 4 sine of theta from both sides. And so these will be 0, or this left side will be 0. And we get square root of 3 sine theta tangent theta. And then negative 3 sine theta minus 4 sine theta is negative 1 sine theta. All right, now notice that there is a sign in both of these terms. So, so we can factor that sign out. So we get sine theta times the square root of 3 tangent of theta minus 1. And now the reason that we wanted to do this is because the zero product property says if we're multiplying two things together and getting 0, then one of those two things had to be 0. So we can set each of these factors equal to 0 separately. So sine theta equals 0, or square root of 3 tangent theta minus 1 equals 0. So we have a little bit of algebra left to do on this one. Let's add 1 to both sides. So it's going to be equal to 1, and then divide both sides by the square root of 3. So we get tangent theta is equal to 1 over the square root of 3. But we're going to want, so 1 over the square root of 3. But we're going to want to rationalize our denominator there. If we multiply top and bottom by square root of 3, we get that this is equal to the square root of 3 over 3. So tangent's equal to the square root of 3 over 3, or sine of theta is equal to 0. So now we can look at our unit circle and find everywhere that sine is equal to 0. So that's going to be at 0 and at pi. Or where tangent is equal to square root of 3 over 3. So that's going to be at pi over 6 and 7 pi over 6. So our answers, so theta is going to be equal to 0, or pi over 6, or pi, or 7 pi over 6. Those are going to be our 4 answers for this one.